Hey guys, welcome back to the iQuarrel channel. Today, another ranking. I thought today I would do a different concept, one that I really wanted to use for a while now, and that is actually movies that I've struggled to watch or get through, or there's one scene that I truly just don't enjoy, or I cringe, or I get secondhand anxiety, something or rather puts me off during the film, and I've thought of 10 of those, and I thought I would rank them accordingly with this tier list that I've just made for you guys. So basically the way I kind of want to go about it this time is won't ever watch again is just like a look, I tried and it was disgusting. There was something in this movie that truly put me off, and I can't put myself through that ever again. I actually have no need to really feel like I ever really need to go back and watch this. This was gross. So won't ever watch again. Kind of speaks for itself. It's just I'm not picking up this movie ever again. Hard watch is like, look, I might go back and try and rewatch this sometime, or look, I'll give it a go, but I'm not gonna like it. It's got a few scenes in it that bother me. Yeah, there's something or rather about the film, and I'll go into detail if I put anything in this section of the tier list. But it's just one of those where I'm like, there's many a scenes that kind of just affect me the wrong way. That one scene. This is basically look. The movie's great. I enjoy the movie. It's actually a really cool movie. But there's just one scene that's a little bit too fucked up for me, or oh yeah, I just cringe. That one scene always gets me, bro. It's not even a jump scare. It just always gets me. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I'm dreading it until I see it, and then once I've got through it, it's just like, oh god, I hate that scene. I get through it is kind of like, look, it's not great. It's a movie. I know it's not real, but it's just this one scene that's kind of like not really that one scene worthy, but still like it's not a scene I enjoy. Nevertheless, I get through it. It is what it is. And then I thought I'd go green with look, I'm fine with it. It's it's not really a great scene or a great movie, or there's something about it that puts people off, but for me, I'm like I'm fine with it. I get through it, no troubles. Um, yeah, it's not great by any means, but like I get through it, I guess. So to start this off, I had to think of 10 movies that I either just couldn't finish or I didn't even want to watch. Genuinely, like I just thought like I am so grossed out by the concept of this film. I'm not intrigued in the slightest. I can't do it. Which is rare for me because I am a scientist when it comes to movies. I want to put myself through all of them and see if I like them. There's a new movie with Margot Robbie. I feel like I might have the title wrong because I don't follow these movies at all. But is it Wuthering Heights? I feel like it could be. Let's actually let's check that. Is it Withering Wuthering Heights? Wuthering Heights. It's just I'm curious as a audience member where I might actually put myself through it, and I might even watch it. I don't want to. I doubt that I'll actually enjoy it, but I might put myself through a movie like that just so I can say I've seen it and I know instead of not knowing. I don't like not knowing, I guess. But these movies, basically, to break it down, they're all kind of random. Some I was just truly disturbed by. Others, it might have a scene that kind of just gives me that secondhand anxiety or, cringeworthy moment or spark of trauma that, kind of like reignites as soon as I watch this film. And I just struggle to watch it. Like that's really all I can say. But to make a start, we've got The Farm, and for you who if any of you guys don't know, for those of you who don't know, this film is it's gross. It's disgusting. It's a cool concept on paper, but ugh. Basically it is roles reverse. You've got your typical farm setting. There's animals, and obviously, like for us to eat meat, animals have to be slaughtered and prepared. But you've basically got a few cannibals on a farm in the middle of God knows where in America, where basically they wear animal masks. So they've got like a cow's mask or a goat or a sheep or something, and they basically kidnap tourists or just people that have just driven by at the wrong timing, and they prepare them to eat. Essentially, it's like, I guess it's like a cool concept if you wanted to make like, some kind of like comic or animation, but to make like a real life film about this, where it's like, actors and actresses, and you're seeing people go through these disgusting methods for like, preparing meat and milk and all that. Like it is foul. I tried watching this movie. I probably got 15 minutes in before I was like, you know what? The idea of like putting myself through the rest of this, I can't do. It was a few years ago. It was a horror movie. I was like, look, I'll put myself through it. I'll see if I can do it. I couldn't do it. I will never do it again. I don't know what kind of success it had, but basically, yeah, you've got, instead of like, animals being eaten, you've got people being prepared for food by cannibals. And yeah, I don't mess with that. That's not cool. Um, you know. So yeah, look, I think it's not hard to kind of pick where I'm gonna put this one. Like, won't ever watch again, clearly. Um, On to the next one though, Wolf Creek at number two. Look, it's funny because I've seen the TV series. I think there were two seasons. I watched the sequel. I believe there's even a third or a remake coming out. But this movie it's also up there with like it's gross. It's got one scene that I haven't managed to kind of get past. And it's not because I truly despise the scene either. It's just find it I find it really wrong. And personally, it's a little bit too real for me, to the point where I go, I can't watch this and feel entertained. I'm not enjoying watching this. There's a scene kind of at the start when the three victims touring the middle of nowhere in Australia, Northern Territory, I believe. They're obviously at Wolf Creek. Their car might have broke down. I can't remember. It's actually been a while since I've watched it, so don't quote me on that. But they're found by a serial killer in the bush, and he, basically says, "I'll fix your car. Come back to mine, and we'll sort yous out and get yous back on the road." And they think it's all fun and games until they find out the hard way that he's basically kidnapped them, and he's going to torture them. And there's a couple of girls, and they get kind of abused and messed with, and it's just, that's the part of the film that I personally, I just can't watch. I know it's real. I know it's not real. Pardon me. I know it's not real. It's yet it is based off true themes, true like events. But it's done so, I guess, realistic for the audience. Like, it's hard not to cringe and just kind of go, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, so I can't put myself through it. It's obviously like a kind of a big movie for Australia. We don't come out with too many good kind of like globally known films, but this might be one of them. So, this still got success, even if it cringed me out, or, just basically destroyed me. But I can't watch this movie. I might try and, go back to it one day and rewatch it, especially if there's like a third one coming out. But yeah, look, it's when you torture, I guess, like women in like that weird way, I can't do it. It's which is good, obviously, but it's like, yeah, I can't, even though I know it's a movie, these are actors, they are being paid, like they are talented as hell. I just can't put myself through it. I don't like it. So, look, I'll actually say Hard Watch, even though it like low key is something that I won't ever watch again. I might try and rewatch it one day, and look, if I do, it's going to be a really hard watch, basically. The Impossible. Steering away from the horror movies for a second, we do have some random films in here. There might even be one or two where you guys are kind of like, why would he put that in there? But for me personally, like it's just got something in it that doesn't agree with me, and I'm affected by it. And I guess that's the cool thing about movies. Like when you watch a rom-com, you feel all warm in your heart, or you might feel emotional. Same with the drama, you feel kind of like emotional, like the people have been through a lot in the movie, and you as the audience member feel that pain that they're going through. Even with a horror movie, like sometimes you're truly terrified. It's horrific. But like even in a thriller, I'm thrilled by what I've just seen. This is crazy, dude. Action. Like seriously, when I watch Batman, I feel like I'm Batman. Like for the next 24 hours, I am literally Batman just because I've watched it. Movies have a great effect on their viewers. And for these two and the rest, there's something about it. But to get back into it, The Impossible, look, it's a real life event that occurred. I can't remember where. So I won't actually say where, but basically this family of four are on holidays, and they're, poolside. There's all the palm trees. They've got the nice, let's say, touristy kind of area right by the beach, and literally paradise. There is not a stress in the world. These people are away from it all. And then all of a sudden, the ground starts shaking. There's this huge tsunami that just breaks everything in its way, and the kids and the dad are in the pool, and they've got to just duck under, and the wife is like, I'm pretty sure she's like poolside, like she might be like on the chair, or you know she might have been standing up. It's been so long since I've seen it, probably over a decade since I've started watching it, but they're hit with this huge tsunami, and basically like there's gore, they're injured, they're all freaking out, like they don't know who's dead, who's alive. They're all fearing if one of their family or all their family members are dead apart from them, because they all rise above the water, obviously in different spots, and they've been pushed, and they're just, yeah, there's scenes in this where like I actually can't remember, because this movie makes it in the list of like, it was a little bit too real for me, and I had to stop watching it. So I actually can't even really talk much about it. Basically, yeah, that's the whole spiel. Like they kind of just they've had to, you know, experience this horrific natural disaster, and all of a sudden like basically get through it, and try and find safety, and find each family member, and then they've got to be hospitalized, and it's a incredible true story, a horrific event, and an amazing story. If you haven't seen it, I do actually, funnily enough, recommend it. But it's one of those movies where it's a little bit too real for me. It stresses me out, because I think like, how awful is that people had to go through this again with the actors. Um, it's just they've done a really really good job. The effects are crazy realistic, and I got to the moment of the tidal wave, And you know, a few scenes after where I think the mum is being hospitalized and you know she's in all this discomfort in a world of you know, physical and mental hurt. And I just stopped. I was eating KFC at the time. I put my KFC down. I I pressed pause and I went back and I had to find something else to watch because that was just, and maybe it was because I was eating food, but it was just a film that I struggled with, and yeah, the movie was a little bit too real, so I couldn't do it. I'm gonna put it. Look, I might put it as hard watch, funnily enough, because you know I might try and watch it. I might try and put myself through it. Again, it's been over a decade since you know I tried to watch it, so um, maybe, but yeah, very hard watch. Cabin Fever 2. Got through this movie. I got through this movie. If I can't remember when I watched it. It might have been 2020. So, you know, a few years ago now. I'm gonna put this into the I get through it area because if you've seen any of these movies, I actually just found out through like doing my research for this video that there's apparently like a third one, like a remake or a prequel, if you will. I watched this one and the first one, and they are gross. They are, especially this one. This I can't talk. This one was done. Um, this was like the sprinkles on top. You know, this was like the let's just double down what we did in the first one. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but I get through it. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it's like high school prom, and all the couples are getting ready for their big night at the end of the year. And basically, in the event, there's water that's been contaminated and by some hideous disease. And basically, if you drink it, your skin falls off, your organs melt, like you slowly just basically your whole body kind of like disintegrates into like the most gory way imaginable, and it's just freaky as hell. Like all these people are so confused as to why. Like they find that they even like jump in a pool and then they just start like bleeding and like dying and melting, and it's gross. If you like horror movies, you don't need to watch this. If you really like horror movies and you've heard about this, you might get through it like me. It's movies like this that they're not necessarily bad movies. They are kind of corny, but look, they're a cool idea on paper, and yeah, at least I can say I've seen it. I haven't watched it since. I might watch it again. I feel like I probably put money on it. I'll watch it again just so I can, I guess, relive it and have my memory, you know, restored with all the scene information. But it's not a pleasant film. Don't watch it on an empty stomach when you're starting your meal. Definitely at the same time, don't, if you've just eaten, start watching this film. It actually takes place right after the first film, and yeah, these movies have a reputation for being gross. Poseidon. This is actually a really cool movie, and it has a great cast. You know, it's got like Kurt Russell, oh, I forget his last name, but Andre from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Captain Holt. You know, this movie is really cool. It actually kind of like combines the impossible with the Titanic, you know, but it makes it its own thing. And basically, it's this huge cruise ship in the middle of, let's say, the Atlantic Ocean. And basically, there's this huge tidal wave, and the boat doesn't sink. It just basically becomes upside down, essentially. And the outer top section of the ship is completely submerged in water and the bottom of the boat is sticking out of the ocean. And all the people basically die in this, all these different horrific ways where they drown, or, they get hit with something and it crushes them, or, some object electrocutes them, or whatever. Like, it's just out of nowhere. Like, they're celebrating New Year's Eve, if I remember too. And, it's this just, it's big happy feels, and then the ships hit and they just all turn, and then they're upside down and all these people die in these awful ways. It's really sad, and it's low key, it's also feeling quite realistic. But I don't believe it's based on a true story. I hope I'm wrong there. Um, I'm actually gonna put this in that one scene, because, and although I say that one scene, there might be a couple scenes that kind of, put me off by the realism. But there's one scene where they're in the elevator and they're all trying to get up to the next area, which is higher in the ship. From their angle, it's actually lower in the ship. And, all these survivors, let's say there's nine or seven of them, they're all basically making it, but, the way they're doing it, it's only going to last for so long. And by the last person trying to make it, unfortunately, spoiler alert, he doesn't make it, and he falls and gets absolutely crushed by these steel spikes. And yeah, it's just awful. If you've seen this movie, you know the scene. But yeah, I watched that, and it's one of those scenes where I'm like, oh, fuck me. Like, I know it's not real, it's a movie, but it feels realistic. Like, what if I was that guy? Like, oh man, like that would hurt, and like he's just dead, but it's like, oh, I don't know if anyone else feels like that when they watch a movie. They probably just separate, the art form from, the real life world that they live in, and they probably just go, look, it's not real. It was a dummy. It was tomato sauce, whatever. I look at some of these movies and I think they're real, and they low key affect me. So I'm gonna put it in that one scene. I have seen this maybe two or three times. It is a good movie. It's got a really cool cast. I actually don't remember their names specifically, but some very memorable faces. I must say, Piranha. This this movie is disgusting. This movie is foul. Like, from how sexually explicit it is, to the amount of gore and bloodbaths on screen. Like, this movie is just foul. Um, I've never gotten through this movie, and I don't think I need to. I don't think it's like Jaws, for example, is like a timeless classic. It's not necessarily an awesome film, I guess, because it's low key not aged very well. By that I mean the shark definitely doesn't look like a shark. It looks like a robot shark. But these piranhas are all CGI, and there's so much gore in these movies, because there's a few of them, but this one specifically, it's the only one I've tried to watch. And every time someone's been eaten, or whatever, like, there's just their limbs come off and you can see like the inner sections of their anatomy, and it's done really well, but too well to the point where I can't watch it and feel happy. I don't watch this and enjoy it. It is disgusting. It's done a little too well, too much. Yeah, it's gross. And if you've seen this or tried to watch it as well, I'd love a comment backing up my statement, because I don't enjoy this film. I I won't ever watch this again. There's one scene, funnily enough, as well, that truly, uh, I might I might low-key be scared of it. There's a scene where this lady is, everyone's trying to get out of the ocean. And this one lady is, I can't remember if she falls out of the little boat, or she's already in the water, but she's yelling out to this guy because her ponytail is stuck in the propeller of this boat. And old mate starts the motor and she's screaming. She's like, "No, what are you doing? Like, stop." But he's like all in panic mode and like doesn't hear her or doesn't care because it's all about him. And he starts the motor and it spins and her hair gets caught and her like her facial skin, if you will, like her face just comes off her head and it's literally just blood and a skull and her eyeballs. It is disgusting. And it was, you can probably look at it and go, look, it's fake. But for me, watching it when I didn't enjoy it. I found it to be gross and I just went, you know what? Nah. Even if that's the worst this film gets, I can't do it. That is disgusting. So that kind of got to me, and I decided I will never watch this again or put myself through it again. Um, which is funny because I've put myself through a lot of these films like Jaws, Anaconda, Lake Placid, Rogue, Sharktopus. There are so many movies that have this theme where people go swimming and something's there waiting for them. This is not one of them that I can do. To mix it up a little bit, what are we at now? Number seven, Pearl Harbor. This this is a great film. I might even put it through. I get through it. It's got that realism in it where I kind of just go, look, this is so tragic. This is, I don't know. There's something about it that truly gives me that secondhand anxiety or sadness. Like I truly feel affected by the result of this film. Incredible cast, like Ben Affleck, Kate Beckinsale, a lot of familiar faces in it as well. But it's just it's one of those films where you go like, wow, this really happened. And the 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 aftermath of the Pearl Harbor attack by the Japanese, when all the Americans in the submarines are screaming for their lives and they're drowning and then they all die, and one guy's even got his hand out in one of the holes and he's trying to like, it's out of the water and he's trying to like get to the other guys and they're all trying to like, you know use whatever they can to make a hole for all these soldiers stuck in the submarine to get out of, and they just, none of them make it and they all die. And it's just, there's a few scenes in this where it is a hard watch. And I've seen it a couple times, funnily enough. It's a fantastic film. If you haven't seen this, you need to do yourself a favor and watch this. Even though it makes it in the title of this video, I struggle to watch. It's a personal thing. I find it a little bit too real, but it's a fantastic film. There's a few scenes that just have that horrific historical war, um, you know, depictions that are truly saddening to see, and just, you know, it really makes you feel as the viewer, like you really just sit back and you go like, wow, I can't believe this happened. It's amazing to think like where we're at now, but this happened. This is a movie. It's not like watching Star Wars when you're like, the Death Star blows up and you're like, oh yeah, cool. It's a movie. It's George Lucas. Like this is something that happened. So when things happen and it's truly like, a tragic amount of lives that have been lost, or injuries that have occurred, or you know characters have lost their mates or their loved ones, like you truly feel for them. And yeah, it just, in any movie that's war related, it's kind of like hard to watch, but this is like one of them that's just It's done significantly well. And for me, I growing up watching this movie, there were times where I was just like, I can't watch this. And I actually feel like I might have gotten emotional because it just, yeah, it just messed with my head. I was like, but number eight, Trainspotting. Funnily enough, I've never actually finished this movie. It's always been on TV when I've seen it, or at a friend's house, and I've just been in the background watching it. But there's just one scene in the heroin house or the crack house, whatever it is, where there's a baby and the baby, like an actual, like newly arrived baby, and it's dead, and it's actually rated as one of those films where a lot of the audience members that viewed this film were bothered by the scene of this baby that's unfortunately, you know, no longer with us. It's a really hard scene to watch, and it's one of those scenes that I think it affects people because it's really one of those truly memorable and amazing experiences that occurs with, bringing a new human life into the world, and seeing this scene it's really, it's one of those harsher sights to see in a movie where you're trying to like think of something tragic. Like this is just one of those scenes that you see and you go like, oh, that's a bit too far. That's oh, I don't like that. That's kind of how you feel watching this. So look, I can't put it on won't ever watch again because it is on my list. I do have to actually finish this movie because like I really can't explain it. I've got, maybe one day I'll do it like a review or like an update on this, but yeah, for now, like I just remember that one scene that I saw and I was like, yeah, I was a bit bothered by it. Let's just say that. So look, I'm gonna say that one scene because truly it's that one scene that just makes everyone go, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That one scene just, yeah, just got to me, bro. So I'll put it there. We're looking pretty even right now. So I mean, we've still got two more to go. So I mean, I feel like I know where I'm gonna put these, and maybe you guys know as well. But number eight, A Star Is Born. Why is this movie here? Well, it's got suicidal themes, mental health related issues, alcoholism, and for me personally, I guess with what I've been through in my own life and what I've seen, whether it's been, with myself or, loved ones, this shoots a little too close to home for me personally. I love the cast, Bradley Cooper, and like I'm a Lady Gaga fan, like I always have been. So to put these two together is insane, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. I would say this movie, because of the soundtrack alone, is like a classic. It has to be. That can't even really be my opinion. It's just the soundtrack was done so well, and it did so well success wise. With that said, Bradley Cooper's character has some mental health concerns. He's an alcoholic. He really puts himself through it, and to see how he is affected, I feel that secondhand anxiety. I feel cringe worthy feels in plenty of scenes. I have secondhand embarrassment for Lady Gaga's character as well, because these two are obviously in love. It's a love story, but what they go through together as a couple is, it's really really tragic. It's hard to watch, especially and for all of those who have seen this movie, the Grammys scene, the awards, when she's up there and he's under the influence and makes his way on stage and then starts going to the bathroom while he's up on stage, standing up in front of everyone, and all eyes and cameras are on him. Obviously, it's a movie, but it's one of those scenes where it's done so well, it's so effective with what it does and what it's trying to get you, to experience, how it wants you to feel. It just, for me, like, it's got that one scene, but there's many scenes where I find this to be a hard watch. I've seen the entire film, and again, because I actually love the soundtrack, I will probably put this in a hard watch, but it's between Won't Ever Watch Again and hard watch. If it wasn't a really good film, truly, I would put it in Won't Ever Watch It Again. Um, but I'd say it's a hard watch. I Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again one day. But yeah, it stresses me out a little bit. The end is, you know, if you've seen it again, like, with his with his passing, and obviously how he does it, it's really sad. And for me, like, it's, yeah, it feels, personally, it's no longer a movie for me, and I just can't separate the art form from the real life experiences that, you know, unfortunately do occur in people's lives. So I'll put this in hard watch. It's a great film. It's actually like a fantastic film. This film would have gotten a lot of awards, and surely like would have been up there for like soundtrack of the year or whatever. Like, I don't obviously know their own ranking system when it comes to you know, the Grammys, or sorry, the Globes, the Globies, whatever they are. I actually don't know what they're called. But I'm sure this film did. I'm sure it was nominated, because it was just to this day. Like, I mean, it's 8 years old now, just about. And yeah, it's for, I'd say, for most people, it's a really easy, enjoyable watch. But for me, it's just, yeah, a little bit tricky. Um, but number 10, oh, I actually didn't even realize it, but I kind of saved the worst to last. This film is, I'm gonna I'm gonna put it in the middle, because there's some scenes in this that like are so disturbing. I don't even think I can really mention them. Um, I guess to come back to this film, The Farm, just for a sec, there are sections of the film where there are women in cages, and they're hooked up to these machines where, milk is produced, and one lady's pregnant, and they take the baby and they murder it, and then they've got all these guys in cages, and they're basically in a line to be used for the next, um, well, food, like their meat. It's like, this film is so wrong. I don't understand how like anyone could watch this and truly be like, oh yeah, like, it had some good characters, or it was like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't see it. And again, I barely got through it, so maybe I'm wrong, but it's just one of those truly disturbing films where it, like, low key, like, it probably shouldn't have been made. But I'm glad films like this exist, because, we've all got our own tolerances. And I'm sure some people can watch this and just separate, the realism, but it's gross. And honestly, this is like, it is up there. These two films are related in how disgusting their concepts are for the movie. Human Centipede, I feel like I don't have to explain what this is. If you know, you know. I'd say most people do. But for those who don't, this deranged surgeon, ex-surgeon, I want to say, in Europe, basically, has these two girls arrive at his doorstep as they are lost, they are stranded, they don't know where they are or how to get to their party, and he's basically lets them in, gives them a glass of water, and has spiked their drinks, and they fall to the floor, and wake up in, I want to say, his basement that looks like, a hospital, and they are strapped to these hospital beds, and they are basically to be informed of this horrific experimental procedure that he wants to put these three people through, the two girls and a previously selected victim, some guy that he already had, through this process of sticking each other's heads up each other's butts and creating a functioning, living human centipede. Where do you come up with the ideas for this? Like, this is truly foul. I tried to watch this. I ended up kind of just skimming through it. I actually even got to the end, but I never really sat there for like more than, let's say, 5 minutes without like fast forwarding through the film because I was either bored, grossed out, or just like baffled as to how you could go, I want to make a movie about this, and someone go, yep, you should do that. Here's $1 million. Like, bro, like, obviously this made a lot of money. I don't know what the budget was like, but I'm sure it made more than its budget. Um, it's that shock factor, It's I get why someone, I guess, in the end got it out there for the world to see, but this was banned in certain countries, or maybe I'm thinking of the sequel. But yeah, look, I don't even really want to go into it that much. I feel like I already have too much. But this is a gross film, and yeah, there's like three of them. Funnily enough, the sequel is like black and white because of how disturbing it is. Like, I don't understand how this one isn't, or the third. But yeah, look, Human Centipede, like, gross movie. Don't really want to ever have to revisit it in a ranking, but it belongs here. I won't ever watch it again. Um, I didn't put any in. I'm fine with it. I kind of thought I might, maybe like Poseidon. Um, but yeah, look, I mean, to be honest, like, if I had have seen Trainspotting, I probably would have put it in the I'm fine section, I'm fine with it section, but because it's got a pretty disturbing scene, I had to kind of put it in this area because I think it works. But yeah, this is how I rank the 10 movies that I truly just struggled watching for various different reasons. But yeah, like I'd love to know, like, if you guys relate to my opinion on any of these films. Feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Make sure if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. A lot of you guys are watching, and I really appreciate these numbers that I'm getting. It means a lot to me. I do have to say personally, I love making these YouTube videos. They are really fun as like a little side passion project. But definitely is low key out of my comfort zone. So I do really appreciate all the support, whether it's a thumbs up, a comment of reassurance, or feedback, or whatever you want to put in. Please, like, anything's better than nothing the way I see it. But yeah, I really like doing these rankings. I really want to, moving forward, keep this channel as a rankings and reviewing kind of channel. I think I'm going to steer clear of the gaming videos, unless a game just comes out and I have to play and record it for you guys. But I think reviewing and ranking channel is going to be the main theme of this channel, with mainly like that horror aspect included throughout. Obviously, I wouldn't really say that Stranger Things characters fits within that horror theme, but I don't really want to limit this channel by the same token. So I'd say while we're mainly going to talk about horror movies and just, I guess, scary movies and come up with different ranking topics for those, I do still want to occasionally do my own unique, wacky ideas where I rank, let's say, the top 10 greatest rom-coms, in my opinion, or the best 30 or just any 30 Adam Sandler movies. Like, I will do these ideas. I'm a movie head. I always have been, and I've got so many thoughts that I want to include. So I think the sky's the limit. But hopefully next week too, I've still got, let's say, maybe 8 or 7 zombie movies to watch. But a week from hopefully now, this video dropping, the zombie ranking should be coming out. You guys had the option of ranking, you guys had the option of deciding which topic I did for my next video out of the 4. Monster movies, vampire movies, ghost movies, or zombie movies. I was the only one who picked monster movies. I will do it in future because I have a really cool idea for what movies I'm going to include in that. I believe I got maybe 3 or 4 votes for ghost movies and a couple for vampires, but by a landslide, zombie movies was the fan favorite. So I'm really glad you guys shared, I guess, your votes for that one. I really appreciate your input. And I'm excited to make a video on zombie movies because there are some really good ones and there are some crap ones out there. But I've still got a little bit of homework to do, so I'll finish watching those and then hopefully I'll get the video out as soon as I can. But just want to say thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks very much.